Jordan, how are we doing? Welcome, everybody. Jordan, how you doing?
Great. Well, it's a little dark, I'll say. You know, the daylight savings bringing me down this week.
It's bringing you down.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I hate to hear that. I'm so sorry.
Well, you know, it's like dark at 4 p.m. now. That hurts my feelings a little bit.
It makes me want to cry.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it only is going to get worse. Till the middle of December.
Yeah, you know, I just hate that you like wake up and it's dark and you go home and it's dark. Yeah. That just makes me upset, you know?
Yep.
Are you?
Well, that's all right. I am doing
pro-
great, and I'm happy that it's podcast night.
Are you pro daylight savings time?
I am indifferent.
You are indifferent. I'm all about getting rid of it.
Getting rid of it.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Getting rid of it. Hello, people on YouTube. It's good to see you. Jordan, you ready to go? Get this going on the podcast
I sure am.
side
Yep.
as well? All right.
Yep.
Let's do it.
All right. Here we go. Ready, set.
Welcome back to Next Step Fantasy Football Podcast, where we're here to help you take the next step in your fantasy journey. My name is Jake, and I'm once again joined by my friend Jordan. Jordan, how you doing?
Great. Ready. Happy to be podcasting. Halfway through the season, Jake.
Halfway through the season.
Halfway
You
through
know what
the
that
season.
means?
Week 9. What?
You know what it means? It means it's time for some mid-season awards.
Ooh.
We're
what
going to
an
give those
exciting
out.
day.
You can check them out on our Facebook page at the Next Step Fantasy Football Podcast. You can also check them out on our Instagram. But we're also going to talk about them. We're also live on YouTube, youtube.com/Next Step Fantasy Football Podcast. If you're here, ask your start sit questions. We are still going to answer them. Yeah, so it's good to have you guys here. Jordan, I believe you probably have some news to start.
I sure do. It's actually short news week. Just a couple of things which is good because that usually means not as many injuries, which I love. Unless it's people that Jake puts on his fantasy team,
Yes,
of course.
Because they
all right.
Update.
Yeah.
Update had Josh Palmer went on the IR. So
On
literally
the IR.
everyone I touch goes to the IR. Again, we got a few people in the chat. Ask your start sit questions. We will answer them shortly.
Cool. All right. Well, that's a good start. Kind of the biggest injury of the weekend was Josh Palmer out on IR. Bummer, but he was kind of a fringe flex play anyway.
I hate it.
Unless you're Jake, of course, and then you desperately needed him.
Okay, relax.
And Jake's on a little bit of a slide in the home league.
A little bit of a slide. Is that what we're calling
A little bit of a slide. All right, here's some other news. Most notably, Kyler Murray back on the active 53-man roster, likely to start in Week 10. So the Cardinals got to look at Clayton Tune, and they said, nope, not again. And Kyler Murray looks like he's going to get a start, which I think is good. Good for the Cardinals, good for pass catchers in the Cardinals offense there. I know Zach Ertz is out, but maybe Trey McBride is a little fringe tight end starter there.
I love me some Trey McBride.
Yeah, see, there you go. But Kyler Murray definitely makes the Cardinals more interesting. Justin Fields still uncertain going into Week 10. Just keep an eye on it if you're trying to start him or if you need to start him.
It doesn't look like he's going to be playing.
It doesn't look like
No,
it.
he is
All right,
doubtful,
that's the latest.
they're saying. Which makes
Carson
sense.
Wentz.
Yeah.
Carson Wentz back from beyond.
He just won't go away.
Will not go away. Carson Wentz signs with the Rams. Once again, they released Brett Rippon. They got a view of Brett Rippon against the Packers, and they just cut him.
They released him like a day after he got back.
Yeah. So that stings, but that's what'll happen. That the Packers will do that to you. Will Levis.
Dreams.
Will Levis is named starting quarterback over Tannehill. So a healthy Tannehill is now the backup, which is the right choice.
For everything. For fantasy, for...
Yeah. DeAndre Hopkins, all of a sudden fun fantasy start with Will Levis thrown to him. And this isn't really news, but Jake, how about Joshua Dobbs coming in
That's
relief?
bonkers.
Didn't even know names of players that he was throwing to,
and
he got the win.
Don't matter.
Do you know who the Falcons were missing?
Who are they missing? Oh, Bijan Robinson, because they don't like to play him?
That, and I was going to say Desmond Ridder.
Oh, yeah.
Winning more games with Desmond Ridder than they were with Taylor Heineke.
Yeah, that's not good. Like, that's not what you want. Like,
I just know you're not a Desmond Ritter guy.
I hate. It's fine.
That's why I got to poke
don't.
fun.
I don't hate Desmond Ritter. I just don't think he's good.
Yeah. Do you know what that Joshua Dobbs thing reminds me of? Is actually Baker Mayfield going to the Rams last year. Do you remember? And then he had led that 2-minute drive to win the game.
Yeah, but Baker Mayfield or Joshua Dobbs is a literal rocket scientist. That's probably why he was able to do it, because he's so smart.
Yeah, big fan.
Where'd he go to school? Where'd he go to school, Jordan?
I don't know.
Tennessee?
Oh, yeah, I was gonna guess that.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna
guess that. First of all, Jordan, I want to say, if anyone's watching right now, you look very official with your microphone just barely sticking into the frame.
Oh,
that looks good.
Yeah.
I need to get one of those ones that will be connected to the wall, and then just slides in.
Oh, like the boom.
Yes,
the
boom I need a boom mic. Is what I need.
Yeah, I don't know if they're connected to the wall. Are they?
Some can be. Yeah.
Interesting. All right.
Well, where else?
Season 3. Season 3 of the pod, Jake.
3.
We're getting boom mics. Yeah, you can book it.
Yeah. Okay, relax. Yeah, season 3 we'll get Adam back, I think.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, we'll see. Don't hold your breath.
Oh goodness.
No offense, Adam. We love you.
Yeah, we love you, Adam. Come back to us.
All right.
What
do we got, Jake?
All right. So we're gonna answer some start sit questions. We didn't do a Monday Night Miracle. We did not do a Thursday Night Top Gun. Mainly because we wanted to do some awards. We gave out some awards. Zach's in the chat. Hello, man. Ask your start sit questions. Yeah, we want to do some awards to kind of mix it up. Be honest, the Monday Night Miracle, the Tuesday night or Thursday Night Chop Gun, that's hard.
I know.
We struck out the last few weeks. We were like, go Pickens, and he had one catch for -2 yards.
How were we supposed to know that Deontay Johnson was going to catch his first touchdown since 2021, Jake?
We should have known. We should have just predicted it.
We should have predicted it. I know.
All right. So let's start with a few questions, then we'll get into our awards. Jordan, Don said in the chat, 12 more years of my Patreon membership and you can buy a boom mic.
Yeah, you got that right. Yeah.
Don, coming in with the Patreon. If you want to be a Patreon subscriber, it's on our Facebook page, Next Step Fantasy Football Podcast. Chef comes in. What's up, amazing gentleman? How you doing, man? Hope you're doing well. All right, Jordan, I'm going to hit you with some few questions. Is it time to drop Dameon Pierce? So he did not play last week. The week before, he pretty much split almost 50-50 with Devin Singletary.
And Devin Singletary's also not been playing well.
No.
The run game is non-existent there in Houston.
I think that he's not worth dropping. I think he still has value. He's in a 50-50 split, right? Oh my god.
Yeah, he's getting the touches. He has 109 attempts. He just hasn't been doing much.
Yeah, but what's it look in the last few weeks? That's because Singletary's come on in the last 3 games.
Couple of weeks. Let's take a peek. Yeah.
Last week he did not play. Pierce, that is. So.
Yeah, and he's still not practicing, but 12 carries, 13 carries, and then he went kind of 20 carries, 24 carries. So it's there. He's just putting up 34 yards, 46 yards. So I would agree with you. I think it's time not to start him.
Yeah.
But I'd be hard-pressed to cut. Because who would you be cutting him for? If there's someone on your waiver wire who's getting that level of touches, if there's someone on your waiver wire now who's getting 10-plus touches, yeah, sure, you can go do it. But I just don't think waiver wires are that.
I'm not cutting him for Mitchell.
Like that.
Mitchell, the running back out of Baltimore,
No.
Not quite yet.
Yeah.
Very disappointing, though, how that's kind of going for him.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so no, I am not cutting him yet. I think that by the end of the year, I think it's possible. But, again, it's a 50-50 split. All right, Don comes in. He says, start 3 receivers, full point PPR. We got Mike Evans, Amari Cooper, Garrett Wilson, Tank Dell, and Jordan Addison.
Mike Evans.
Yep.
Amari Cooper.
Yep.
And Tank Dell.
What? Really?
Garrett Wilson?
You're going to start him over Addison, though, too?
No, you're right. I like Addison a lot. And Joshua Dobbs, it's just Joshua Dobbs. I'm nervous about it. Was that game this past weekend just a fluke?
Yeah, I think Cooper and Evans should be starting every week. I think Garrett Wilson and Jordan Addison, it depends on the matchup for me. They're right next to each other. And then Tank Dell's so boom or bust that I just typically won't start him over the floor of all the rest of the guys is a lot higher, right? What you're getting out of them, but Just
How did Jordan Addison do 7 targets last week? So I guess it's pretty good.
The thing is Tank Dell goes off for 120 yards, but then next week he'll have 4. So it's hard.
Yeah.
Jordan says which rookie will score Zach says which rookie will score the most touchdowns for the rest of the year? Rice, Addison, or Dell? I think it's Addison. For me.
Yeah, well, I mean, Jordan Addison has the second most touchdowns, receiving touchdowns on the year so far.
Right, yeah. So I think that continues. I don't know if it finishes second, but yeah, I think that I mean, he's the number 1 there. I guess you could probably argue Rashid Rice might be the number 1 in Kansas City, but Travis Kelce's the number 1 in Kansas City.
Yeah, but I do think Rice is ascending. Like I like he's getting more involved in that offense. He got a touchdown last week. You know, I like him, but I just think Jordan Addison's too far ahead right now. It's 7 touchdowns on the year.
Yeah, agree. Don disagrees. He says he likes Zach's question. I like Dell for that answer, but I feel Rice has the potential to get it too. So I still say Dell, but it's close. Yeah, for me, it's yeah. No thanks. I like Addison there. I think he's the most talented of those 3. All right, who do you start 1 running back alongside CMC? Jahmyr Gibbs or James Cook?
That's tough because David Montgomery's coming back.
The quietness there.
David Montgomery's coming back, or should be coming back.
Give me James
Obviously,
Cook.
if David Montgomery doesn't come back, isn't back this week, then it's Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah.
But
like rest of the season,
that's a tough one.
That's hard. I mean, I think it'll be interesting to see where. I don't know if we talked about Leonard playoff Lenny start or sign with the Bills this past week. So it'll be. I think we're gonna get a timeshare out of both of them. I think Gibbs is the better back, so I'm gonna go Gibbs. I'm gonna go Gibbs there. But I think neither of them have giant touchdown upside, though. I'll say, because I still think Monty gets the goal line, and then I think Lenny's gonna take some of those carries from him as well.
Yeah. And Latavius Murray's always getting touches there in Buffalo.
Latavius Murray.
Yeah, he's always kind of there. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, James Cook had 6 touches last week.
Gross. Hate that.
So, 6 carries, sorry. He had 4 targets.
Still hate that. He's supposed to be your running back 1 and you get 4 carries.
That's not the usage you want to see.
Oh, jeez. All right. Why don't we hit them with our MVPs? If you are in the chat right now, why don't you continue to drop your start sit questions and we will answer them. Jordan.
We're just starting with MVP?
Yeah, let's start with MVP.
Just starting with the big one?
Yeah.
All right, midseason awards. Let's do it.
All right. So each of us kind of picked someone. I think I put it under the right person. Jordan, you had Raheem Mostert, correct?
Sure did, yep.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, let me start with Raheem Mostert. Also, graphics department, shout out.
He's just tooting his own horn over here.
What a beauty. And all the graphics department, Jake. The graphics department. All right. Raheem Mostert, the reason that he's, to me, so far, the midseason MVP on the year, is he was drafted. I was looking back at some ADPs in preparation. Yeah. He was getting drafted as like the overall 115th pick. He was like running back 41 taken off the board. I mean, you're getting this guy probably in like the 11th, 12th, maybe 13th rounds of your draft. And he is currently running back 2 on the year. Second running back overall, and he's actually the 11th overall player. That's including quarterbacks on the year. I mean, that value is just insane. I mean, that is just, you drafted him, he's winning. You're probably in the playoff hunt if you're in the top couple of your standings right now.
Would you say he's more of a surprise though? Because that's one of our. I guess he could be both. You're right.
He's both. Yeah, he's definitely a surprise, but I think he's the biggest surprise makes him the MVP. 13 touchdowns, leads the NFL. He's tied with CMC. There's just always I feels like a player each year who just scores so many touchdowns.
Yeah,
like
Jamal Williams last year.
Yeah, Jamal Williams last year. Jonathan Taylor the year before. Where it was just shocking amounts of touchdowns, and I feel like Raheem Mostert is that. Which is also surprising because they have so many other running backs that they're kind of shifting in and out of in Miami. Here's just another little fact for you: is he has more rushing touchdowns on the year than Derek Carr, Lamar Jackson, and Trevor Lawrence each have passing touchdowns.
That is interesting.
That's surprising. That's a surprising
that is
fact.
Interesting.
I love me some Raheem Mostert.
Yeah, I think that's a good pick. And then I went ahead and just went with the easy one, I guess, which is CMC. I mean, the gap between him and running back 2 is massive right now.
Raheem Mostert? You think the gap between them is huge?
I bet you it's at least 40 points.
It is, according to this source, 17.
Okay, well, it wasn't as high.
Oh, but the gap between the next one is 40 points.
Okay. Listen, I mean, for me, he's the MVP because he scores every time he plays football. Right? He's the guy that is going to get 15 consecutive touchdowns or whatever. And he's exactly what you drafted him to be. Right? For me, when you're picking these guys, I would have picked Mostert for more of a surprise. But I have no problem with the MVP, right? But CMC is exactly what you wanted him to be, and that's what he is. He's going to win people leagues. He was drafted in the top 3. He's performing like a top 3. That's what I want. That's perfect. And the other guys that were going in the top 3 were what? Justin Jefferson, hurt. Cooper Kupp missed for first 4 games. I'm missing someone. Jamar Chase.
He was slow season.
So
start to the season for them. Yeah, for sure.
So for me, I think he's a clear MVP. Before we get to the next one, let's answer more questions, shall we, Jordan?
Yeah, well, last thing I'll say about Christian McCaffrey, he's top 5 in rushing attempts, rushing yards, rushing average, like yards per carry.
Yeah.
Rushing touchdowns, top 5 in targets, top 5 in receptions, the leader of receiving yards, and the leader of receiving touchdowns for running backs. I mean, come on. Anyone who made fun of you for taking Christian McCaffrey number 1 overall, you can laugh at them.
Laugh at them hard right now.
Yeah.
All right. Zach asks, Taylor Heineke or Brock Purdy winky face, Jordan?
Oh man. Oh man. Who does everyone play? This is gonna help me. Who do the Falcons play this week? The Cardinals. Oh boy.
Come on, make the call.
Oh boy. Or who? Brock Purdy?
Yeah.
It's gonna be Taylor Heineke.
Yeah.
I hate that I say that, but it's gonna be.
It's gonna be Taylor Heineke. All right. Cohen jumps in here. Good to see you, man. Would you trade Cooper Kupp and Breece Hall for Diggs and Bijan? I would not.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh.
Let's say for me, I don't love how Bijan Robinson's being used. Like, that is a massive thing. And the difference between Cooper Kupp and Stephon Diggs is not that big to me, but the difference between Breece Hall and Bijan is very large.
Are you sure? Are you sure about that?
No, am I sure? Like, are the numbers going to prove it? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's close. I don't think the difference between Kupp and Diggs is big. That one you won't be able to look at the numbers because because Kupp missed the first 4 weeks. And I would disregard Kupp's last week because he had Brett Rippon playing. You know.
That's why it's hard for me.
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp has been underperforming for me on the year, and I just checked Breece Hall and Bijan Robinson, 14-15 running back on the year. So I agree. To me, Bijan feels like they're not using him. It's a little bit of like that Kyle Pitts sort of mentality.
Bijan is going down. His arrow is going down. They're not using him correctly, and Hall's is going up. They're starting to unleash him. Dalvin Cook is a non-factor.
Yeah.
So I'm doing it. I'm doing it. You can't stop me.
All right. It's a close one. I think it's a close one. But yeah, you could do it.
All right. Chuba Hubbard or James Conner, assuming he plays this week. Give me Chuba.
I agree.
I like Chuba. Plus, with Conner coming back off injury, they might work him back in a little slowly. But Joey in the chat stated that Bijan would be the biggest bust in fantasy because Arthur Smith doesn't use running backs. He sure doesn't. All right, Jordan, Dynasty. Superflex. You trading Trevor Lawrence for Pickett and Diggs.
Trevor Lawrence for Pickett and Diggs.
I think it's hard. You got to see the rest of the.
I'm not.
You got to see the rest of the roster, right?
You're right. I do need to see the rest of the roster, but I'm not. Trevor Lawrence is, from a dynasty perspective, in a Superflex dynasty, one of the top quarterbacks.
Yeah, it's really what your opinion
he's up there.
It's really what your opinion on Pickett is.
Which, we've seen it. Jury's out.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if the jury's out.
Yeah.
I don't know if I really like Pickett. I don't think that the jury is out on him, mainly because was it Matt Canada or whatever his name is just
Yeah.
booty. He's bad. So it'd be really interesting to see if they had a good offensive coordinator, what that would look like. But I saw a nice stat today that said C.J. Stroud now has more career touchdown passes than Kenny Pickett.
Love that.
Which is hilarious.
Yeah. So no, I would not trade.
Do you think that Bijan is a bust? Chef said Bijan isn't a bust. He just isn't worth a top 5 pick in redraft, which is some people were taking him in.
Yeah, he's definitely not living up to the hype.
Yeah,
but he's not a bust. I mean, he's a running back too. He's
a disappointment. If you guys are see it on the Facebook page or on the Instagram, one of the ones we're not really going to talk about here is we both added disappointment as one of the things here for our awards, and I don't think either of us picked. Who'd you pick for that?
Tony Pollard. We're going to talk about it.
We didn't. I actually didn't put that one on here. We can talk about it. Tony Pollard's been a massive disappointment. I hyped him up, be top 3, and it's so frustrating to watch. He's averaging like 3 yards, and they just don't give him the ball down in the red zone, and he hasn't scored since week 1 when he scored twice. Last week he scored, and there was a penalty, and it didn't count.
You basically just read all of my notes.
Yeah.
I said the only thing I didn't say was some members of the podcast thought he would be a top 5 pick.
Some members.
Some members of this podcast thought he'd be
Jordan,
top 5
do you remember
overall.
who the other one was? I can't remember off the top of my head. Biggest disappointment. Who I had.
Who you had as biggest disappointment?
Yes.
You, my friend, said the biggest disappointment was another Dallas Cowboy.
Brandon Cooks. Another guy I hyped up. Well, geez, don't listen to me. My God. He's been... Oh, I almost swore. He's been not good, too.
Come on, Jake.
Someone said biggest disappointment so far, Ramondre Stevenson. It was nice to see him actually go off for a big run last week. So on that note, let's keep going on the awards. Jordan, why don't we talk about the biggest bust of the year?
Biggest bust. All right.
For me... May I go first this time?
Of course, please. Yeah.
So I have them in the wrong order on our video here. But I have Cam Akers, and I think it's the easiest pick of them all. He had a 4th round ADP going, and I mean, this is why people will be like, don't draft early, right? Going into like the last week of, because he got traded in the last week of preseason. Does that sound right, or was it the regular season yet?
No, it was still it was in the regular season.
Okay,
they traded him.
Okay, well then in that case, he had a 4th round ADP. He gets traded. He's a backup. This guy has not even 100 yards on the season. And now he just tore his Achilles. Easily the biggest bust. A guy in the 4th round that some people are drafting as their running back 2, possibly their running back 1, if they really went wide receiver or quarterback heavy or tight end or something like that. And he never played. And it wasn't because of injury. That's why he's a bust, right? Some people, you can't call Aaron Rodgers a bust here, right? Cam Akers, easily the bust.
Yeah, it is a bummer that he tore his Achilles. We would have called him a bust, even if he didn't.
Yes.
I mean, he's getting, single-digit looks every single week in Minnesota with just atrocious average. The most that he did was week 1 against Seattle, where he had 22 touches, 22 attempts.
Yeah, he had like
29 yards.
29 yards.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just, yeah. So that is definitely a bummer. So I like that as a bust. My bust is going to be Dalvin Cook, though. So, people were hyped about Dalvin Cook, and part of this, I was torn about doing this because like the whole Jets team has just been kind of a bust this year. Like you could be like, oh, Garrett Wilson, disappointment, kind of anyone on that team that had high expectations. But Dalvin Cook came over, and like I think Jake, we were hyping him on like he made our top 20.
He made our top 20, and he was our first Thursday night Top Gun.
Yep. And he was drafted as like running back 18. So people were thinking he was going to be an RB2. He's currently running back 72 on the year.
Oh.
I mean, just like not even worth having on a team.
He has no value. None. No value in fantasy. He gets 2 touches a game maybe.
Yep, he hasn't seen more than 5 carries since week 5. And the thing that I thought was going to save him was at the trade deadline, I thought they were going to move him. Mm-hmm. And then they didn't.
Yeah.
And he's on a 1-year deal. It's just a waste.
Chef says Dalvin should be wearing a ski mask during practice because he stole $8 million just to hang out on the sideline. Yeah, he has a good gig going on For
Yeah,
like,
but he's angry about it.
Yeah,
Which it makes sense, you know? Like, I'd be, you know, you want to play, but...
Well, it's hard because you go from being the guy and performing very well to then just becoming an afterthought. I think in Dynasty, he's an interesting hold for 1 more year, 2 more years going forward, just to see where he goes. But Joey says, bust Jordan Love. He's not a bust because who would have expected him to be good? Because I didn't.
Yeah, not me.
Nope.
Well, some people thought he was going to be, you know, rush for 1,000 yards or something crazy.
I said 500, and he has like 250.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to look it up. Keep talking.
He's not good. Not good.
Keep talking.
Some people said the Packers were only going to win 4 games this year. Some smart people.
Jordan, Mike Evans is 460 yards shy of 1,000 yards. Will he reach the 1,000 mark? And if so, what week would he hit it?
Some people booked it that he would not, and it's feeling like that's an incorrect take. And not some people is me. I said that. Let's see. I think who do the Bucks play in upcoming weeks? Let's take a peek here, and then I'll make a judgment call.
Well, I'm gonna let you look it up. I'm looking up
The
right
Bucks?
now how much rushing yards this man has.
Oh, Mike Evans is gonna break 1,000 yards against the Green Bay Packers on December 17th.
On December 17th.
Yeah, I'm going to that game. That's why I say.
Oh,
I'll be
thanks
at
for the
Lambeau for it.
invite.
Yep, you're welcome.
Just the worst, my God. All right, he has about 110 yards rushing. Jordan Love right now.
Okay, he's almost to 500.
He won't.
You know,
He probably
halfway
won't hit it.
Halfway there, yeah.
Yeah, jeez, done. God, you suck. All right, Mr. Grapefruit popped in. 12-point PPR. Would you fellas rather have A-Chain or Tank Dell or Josh Jacobs? I assume Achan, right? Is that how we technically pronounce
Yeah,
it?
I would take.
Is he back this
him.
week?
I was just looking. I don't think he's back. I think he has 1 more week on IR. But I think I'm taking.
It depends.
Week 11. He looks good to return week 11. So 1 more week.
1
off.
more week. So assuming he doesn't play, I'm taking him out, and then you're Tank Dell or Josh Jacobs. What are you looking for? I guess that's if you need a safe player, you're taking Josh Jacobs. If you're, maybe you're projected to lose by a lot, or you want a big time hit, then I'd go Tank Dell.
I think it's Josh Jacobs. I liked how they used him, interim coach.
That's true. Yep.
Lots of rushing. I think Josh Jacobs is looking more like the Josh Jacobs last year. Obviously not the same, but he's trending in the right direction of usage, and goal line carries and stuff like that.
Love it.
So,
all right, let's do one more, and we'll hit him with our surprise Minshew or Zach Wilson the rest of the year. It's Minshew for me. That is very simple.
100%.
Anyone who's watching right now, it looks like we have 5 or 6 people who keep jumping in. Please hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Please hit the like button and just hit the share button. That's also really cool. We're Jordan, a little fun fact for you: we're hitting 900 views on the YouTube total.
Ooh.
So we're making our way downtown with that one.
Moving on.
Chef,
Our way downtown.
Chef asks, "Dang, Zach, you in trouble with those quarterbacks?" All right.
Minshew or Zach Wilson?
Yeah. Zach says super flex. That makes it any better.
Still a bad spot to be.
He means he has to start 2 of them.
Yeah.
Mark Andrews.
Hey, Zach,
or
let's
Taysom
make a
Hill?
deal. If this is the home league, let's make a deal.
All right, relax.
Yeah.
Mark Andrews or Taysom Hill?
Mark Andrews. What?
Taysom Hill's been really good, man.
So is Mark Andrews.
I agree. I'm taking Mark Andrews. All right, let's go ahead.
Mark Andrews is tight end 2 on the year.
Taysom Hill's what? Tight end 6?
Taysom Hill is not even in my tight end rankings.
Oh, my Lanta.
Where do they list him? Because he's positionless.
Quarterback, probably.
Oh.
And then look how many points he has, and then cross-reference against...
Cross-reference, all right.
While he's doing the intense research there, let me pull up this...
It's still Mark Andrews. Sorry. Yep. Mark Andrews has 20 more points on the year than Taysom Hill does.
You would have assumed that gap would have been so much higher.
Yeah. Do you know who Taysom Hill does have more points than, Jake?
Who?
Jimmy Garoppolo. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Next.
Yeah. All right. I could just leave you to do this by yourself.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Zach has given me in the chat.
What did he say?
I have this week, Justin Herbert's on a bye.
Yeah.
So I have to pick between Gardner Minshew and Zach Wilson.
That's hilarious. All right.
Zach, don't do this to me, man. Come on.
Let's talk biggest surprises. Jordan, who do you got for this one?
All right. I think my biggest surprise in the year, and we've already kind of mentioned him and some of the tangential players here, it's just C.J. Stroud and the Houston Texans pass catchers.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone expected it to be this good offensively for C.J. Stroud. I thought C.J. Stroud, and Adam agreed with me, was going to be the kind of the number one rookie quarterback coming out of the draft. That he was better than other guys like Bryce Young and stuff like that, at least for this year. But 14 touchdowns to 1 interception. QB7 right now on the year as a rookie. He's a must start every single week. Nico Collins is wide receiver 12. Tank Dell is wide receiver 23. Dalton Schultz is tight end 7. I mean, these are like almost must-start guys, at least Dalton Schultz is and Nico Collins is every single week. Tank Dell has really strong flex appeal, that boomer bust flex appeal. And the 1 interception is just a shocking.
Yeah, that's the big thing.
He has less interceptions than Mitch Trubisky, Brian Hoyer, Aiden O'Connell. These guys have played like 1 game on the year, and C.J. Stroud has played every single game. Blaine Gabbert has thrown 5 pass attempts this season. 2 of them are interceptions. He has more picks than C.J. Stroud on the whole year. That's crazy. That's just fantastic. To me, he's the biggest surprise, and the boost to all Texans pass catchers is notable.
For sure. The chat is absolutely just correcting you, Jordan, really bad. Mahomes is on a bye this week, not Justin Herbert. Don't tell people that.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes.
Guys.
Raffle, as Chef says.
Oh. Hey, I'd like to correct a previous statement that I made. Patrick Mahomes is on a bye. The Chiefs are on a bye this week. And I'm playing our friend Zach, who's in the chat, in the home league, and I'm in trouble.
Yeah, you're going to lose. Mark Andrews has also played 1 more game than Taysom Hill. A little fun fact for you.
For 20 more points?
Maybe. So my biggest surprise, I wanted to do Nico Collins, but I didn't want to do 2 Chiefs. I think Nico Collins is a big one. I mean, wide receiver 12 coming out of just absolutely nowhere. But I think a good one here is Adam Thielen as well. We've seen Adam Thielen be a wide receiver 1 before in his career. He's done it for years. No one expected this from a rookie quarterback. And right now he's a top 10, top 13 receiver?
11.
So he's right next to Nico Collins. And the big thing here is he is being peppered with targets. Jordan, is that a half-point PPR that you're looking at?
It's standard right now, but let's juice it up to PPR.
I guarantee he goes up if it's PPR.
To the 8th?
Yeah, so...
Wide receiver 8.
Yeah, wide receiver 8. So, just a guy like that, and being taken in the double-digit rounds probably, that's my biggest surprise. I mean, he's going to finish as a top 10 receiver barring injury, and there's no reason he shouldn't. So, I mean, these are the type of guys that you draft, and they win you leagues, right? I didn't draft really.
I mean, there's a world.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's a world that you have Raheem Mostert in like the 11th and Adam Thielen in the 12th.
And you drafted C.J. Stroud just cause at the end.
Just cause, and now you're on top of your leagues looking down. Yep.
Chief says Brian Hoyer scared the Chiefs into making Mahomes play 6 so Gabbert wouldn't see the field. That is certainly possible. All right, and then we mentioned it, but our what was the other category? Sorry. Disappointment. Brandon Cooks, Tony Pollard. Just grossly disappointed. So there you go, guys. There you have it for our mid-season award show. We will be posting these graphics on our Facebook page, and they're already up on our Instagram at next_step_pod. If you have more start-sit questions and you're listening to this later, before Sunday, post them in our Facebook page of the Next Step Fantasy Football Podcast, where we will answer them. One of us will get to them. Excuse me. And then, like I said, we are live on YouTube. YouTube.com/the Next Step Fantasy Football Podcast. Jordan, did you see that Logan Paul is your new United States champion in the WWE?
What, John? Why are you calling me out on that?
Well, now you know. Put some respect on the name. Jordan,
okay.
You have anything else to say?
No, I don't. Go get those dubs.
Go get those dubs. You guys take care. Be good.